What's up guys, NG Indices back here with another video, and today we're going to talk about the weapons that need to go with you into the Taken King. So first we're going to start off with our health inducing weapons. We have Red Death, which returns health after every single kill. You get high caliber rounds for staggering important enemies. Field Choke for more range impact. The increased recoil doesn't really matter, it keeps the same recoil pattern. And you have unflinching, so even if you ran this and you thought you would have extra recoil, this negates it, there's no recoil. Next we have our Suros Regime. This weapon gives you health back. It also deals extra damage at the bottom half of every magazine. You have Hammer Forge for improved range and accuracy, and Focused Fire for even more damage. Now the thing about this weapon is that this was the top tier weapon for anybody who had Destiny back when it had first came out, and Bungie nerfed it out of existence, and now with the auto rifle buff, it'll be back. So now this weapon is actually worthy of going into the Taken King. Next we have our Meta Multi-Tool. This one doesn't actually give you health back, but I would recommend taking it anyway because it is a scout rifle, and medium to high rate of fire scout rifles are going to be getting a buff, and this one already deals 55 to the head. Now I don't know by how much percent they're gonna use to buff these scout rifles, but if it's already doing 55 to the head and shooting as fast as it does, then this is gonna be very dangerous in the Crucible next year when we play Destiny for year 2. This weapon has a boost to move speed and fires on the hair trigger, which is really useful. You have Field Scout for maximum ammo capacity, and you also have Third Eye so that your weapon's radar actually stays up, which is very helpful. So now we're going to move on to our legendaries. The legendaries that I would actually recommend here are very great, I would say, but only in some situations. First, we're going to start off with the Wolf Slayer's Claw 2. Now, most people have not seen this weapon at all. They've seen the original version of the Wolf Slayer's Claw, but they haven't seen the weapon with the elemental damage on it. So how you receive this is actually to go play Skullus, and you need to beat him and hope that this weapon will drop for you. Once it drops, then if your primary weapons box is full, it'll go to the postmaster. If not, you'll have it directly. You cannot get it out of any chest. It's not a bounty. It's a reward for beating Skullus, and it is a very rare reward. This weapon has crowd control, which actually is very helpful against the Fallen. Perfect balance, I would highly recommend that. Or Flared Magwell, but that's only if you're going to use the red dot OES. And Vandal Burn. Now this perk right here, this final perk actually rotates. It can go from Vandal to Shank to Captain. It depends on whichever one you get it dropped. But if you definitely get Shank Burn, I would recommend holding on to that, because in the Taken King there are some Shanks that have been modified and taken, and it seems like Shank Burn is going to actually be useful in that DLC. Next we have Aegis of the Kill. Now unfortunately, I have not been lucky enough to receive the second version of this weapon. I would like to get it in Void or Arc, but I haven't gotten it yet. But so far, we have Flared Magwell, Fitted Stock, and Extended Mag. Now, I haven't actually leveled this weapon up, as you can see, but when I get a chance to level it up, I will do another video, a review video on this, to let you know which perks I decided to take and which I will recommend for you. But by the looks of it, I would probably go with Fitted Stock. Rangefinder for increased range. As you can see, the range is a little lackluster, but I guess they tried to fix it with Rangefinder. Definitely this red dot. If you're good with Quick Draw, then I would highly recommend Quick Draw, because that's actually my favorite sight, but because of the recoil pattern on this weapon, I chose red dot ORS. And Demotion. That's what I have. But I would definitely choose this. If I got an Arc one, this would be the #1 perk I would go for. Stun Fallen Captains would be amazing when you get those mobs on you. The next one we would go for is our Fate Bringer, trusty old, dusty old Fate Bringer. You already know what this weapon is about. You have increased damage to oracles, outlaw for precision kills, giving you increased reload speed, Field Scout, or explosive rounds. Actually, this whole middle tier is great. You can choose whichever you want. And then Firefly to dismantle these mobs when they decide to pack up on you. My chosen iron sight was actually Steady Hand, but I will probably move to Sure Shot because I've experimented with my red hand and Sure Shot was my chosen iron sight. Next, we're going to check out my character really quickly. Yep, looking real nice, real fashionable, rocking the Dead Orbit. Have all the gear for Dead Orbit. But next, we're going to recommend our Vex missile class. Now, the reason why we're going with our Vex is simply because it's a solar damaged fusion rifle that can be equipped in your primary slot. It has extended magazine, send it, lightweight, crowd control, Zen moment, and smart drift control. Now, my recommended perks would actually be Zen moment, send it, aggressive ballistics, and everything else the way it is. Now, that's what I would run simply because they nerfed the Vex out of existence along with the Suros, so I had to experiment with the different skill trees and perks to actually make it do what it used to do, and that's pretty much what it is right about now. But when the Taken King comes out and they fix auto rifles, I'm expecting this to also receive a buff. So although it says fusion rifle, it's been nerfed like it was an auto rifle. But yeah, when the buff comes for auto rifles, I'm expecting this to be fixed, and I'm going to run Send It with aggressive ballistics at the exact same time, because running this as it is now is extremely lethal, and after the buff, I can't imagine what it could possibly do. Now we're going to take another look at my character, and what we're going to want to take in next is our last word. This is just great for PvP overall. I mean, you have bonus stability and damage and extra precision damage when firing from the hip. So basically, this weapon already deals 74 criticals to the head. It fires in full auto and fan fire, so if you don't want to fire in full auto, you could fire it like it was a regular hand cannon. And then you can get 114 criticals back to back. Now, they're going to fix it in the patch that comes before the Taken King so that won't happen, but I got a feeling that's not going to stop it from being a very lethal weapon. So if there's any hand cannon that you really like out of there and you want to take with you, last word is #1 on my list. Not only do you have the last word perk, but you also have perfect balance, aggressive ballistics, and then even more increased hip fire accuracy. So definitely a hand cannon I'd watch out for in the DLC. Bad Juju is our next one, simply because after each kill, this weapon will reload instantly and increase damage for a short time, and kills will help charge your super. I cannot even begin to explain how helpful this gun has been since the buff to it. It does 27 to the head, almost 35 if you keep getting kills, and in the Omnibus strike, if you sit under Omnibus and wait until she screams her little health checkpoints, and you fire at every single enemy that comes out of the doors, you will never run out of ammo, and you will have instant supers for everybody. I ran this one day with my buddy, and he had continuous bubbles. Now, my recommended perks would obviously be Smart Drift Control and Perfect Balance. But because I've been using this weapon for so long, I have went and changed up my perks a bit to see what would happen, and I would run Send It and Smooth Ballistics. I would just leave it the way that it came with its ballistics choice, and I would go with Send It. The recoil may seem a bit hard to control, but that added range bonus is ridiculous. Next on our list, we're going to visit our Vision of Confluence. I mean, what can you say? It's a full auto solar scout rifle with Zen moment that can hit you across map with incredible damage. And it also has Oracle Disruptor. So, in the Taken King, I'm expecting for the levels on the old raids to be boosted a bit, and these weapons would actually come in handy, especially Vision of Confluence. They can take down tier 1 and tier 2 mobs instantly, and it's actually very helpful against major bosses. Next, we're going to look at our Vestian Dynasty. Now, I'm kidding, people. Next, we're going to look at our Icebreaker. Anybody who's used an Icebreaker obviously knows how good this weapon is. You have its main perk, Icebreaker, which actually make opponents spontaneously combust, even if you hit them in the body. So if any of you guys don't know what that means, if you're familiar with the Firefly perk from your Fate Ringer, then that's basically what this thing does, except it has sniper rifle damage, it has no range drop off, it reloads ammo by itself, you have increased agility, and you don't need to get a precision shot to actually make the enemy combust. Not only that, but you can get ammo back just by missing, so that's a very good decision for a sniper rifle if you want to take a sniper rifle into the Taken King. Next, we're going to talk about Invective. Now, Invective has been through a lot of trials and tribulations through Destiny, but with the recent shotgun nerf that is to come, Invective is going to be at the top again as the best shotgun in the game, in my opinion, simply because it will be able to regenerate ammo over time. It has the max range cap for any shotgun, final round, and a very high fire rate for a shotgun. Not high enough that it'll be like the Forest Horseman to where you can't see a thing that you're hitting, but just low enough so that you can still see what you're hitting and mow them down at the exact same time. So if there's a shotgun that you want to take into PvE or PvP, I would highly recommend Invective. Now, if any of you have gotten the Praetorian Foil, I would highly recommend the Praetorian Foil. It has reactive reload, so now you basically have all the impact in the world, plus glass half full, so let's take a second impact bar and slide that on top and then fill that halfway. Perfect balance for no recoil. Excellent range, and then you can even max out the range. Excellent fire rate, but then you can max out the fire rate. And then you have great choices for your red dots. Now, for anybody who is learning to use this weapon, I would highly recommend True Sight, but for people who have used it a long time and know how the recoil works, then you can go with red dot. For our heavies, obviously a Gallahorn, but they are bringing in a new exotic that can possibly rival the Gallahorn, but until you actually get that exotic, I would highly recommend that you take your Gallahorn in here. Truth, obviously, for PvP reasons, this thing can turn corners on people. I'm not even joking. If you launch it at somebody and they happen to run around a corner, this thing will follow them around the corner and kill them. It will keep following them until it either runs into a wall, flies off the map, they blink out of it, or it kills them. So highly recommending that for PvP bases only. Thunderlord, because this weapon actually has a hidden Firefly perk. The magazine starts to fire faster as the round is depleted, and you have Feeding Frenzy, so that kills will increase the reload speed, although it already has pretty good reload speed. There's a glitch that you can also do with the Thunderlord. If you leave it on Field Scout, reload it, and then put it on Perfect Balance, you can have the full 60 rounds with Perfect Balance, get your Feeding Frenzy bonus, and your Lightning Rounds bonus, plus the Hidden Firefly perk. I would only recommend you taking that into the Taken King though because of mobs, and it would be pretty easy to diminish mobs if you have a heavy weapon with a Hidden Firefly. Now, if you actually love your corrective measure, then I would highly recommend that you go into the Vanguard Dragon Strikes and pick up this Unending Deluge 3. This weapon is just a complete monster in the Crucible. A little lackluster on the PvE side for damage, but it deals around the same exact damage as corrective measure. Now, this weapon is extremely rare, so do not lose faith if you go in there, play 20 strikes, and happen to not get this weapon. I would be pretty confident that you will pretty soon, but it is one monster of a weapon. Now, the reason why I recommend this over corrective measure is because you can re-roll this to get the fitted perks that you want. Right now, I have Braced Frame on here, and that's like the best perk I could ever want. I have better base stats than the corrective measure, the same amount of ammo if I try to max out the stability. I mean, comparing them side to side, my Unending Deluge is better, by far. It beats it in every single category. So if you want any LMG on corrective measure status, then go play Vanguard Rocks or Vanguard Dragons and try to get this weapon to drop, and I will guarantee that you will be the happiest person alive. Now, for the last weapon, I would highly recommend a Hopscotch Pilgrim. Anybody who plays PvP and loves low fire rate, high impact pulse rifles will need a Hopscotch Pilgrim. You can max out the stability on this weapon, but I would not recommend it. I would recommend going for a more damage based weapon with this gun. What you'll want is True Sight, Single Point Sling, Feeding Frenzy, and Reactive Reload. If you cannot get True Sight, then settle for Red Dot ORES. Luckily I got both, so I can maneuver between whichever one I feel suits me best. But these two perks right here work in unison. Feeding Frenzy procs after any kill that you get, be it a rocket launcher, sniper, shotgun, fusion rifle, sidearm, primary, it procs. So if you happen to get a kill with your sniper, but the hopscotch pilgrim is halfway to empty, then you can reload it incredibly fast. Not only that, but then you'll also have reactive reload proc at the exact same time. Reactive reload also procs off of any kill that you get, be it a rocket launcher, sniper, sidearm, shotgun, fusion rifle, Hawkmoon, last word, thorn, it does not matter, it procs. So, right about now, this gun will deal 38 to the head, but when those two perks proc after I reload, which everybody has to do at some point, the next guy is going to be a 4-shot kill simply because it does 51 to the head, and players in this game only have 200 points of health. Did you hear that correctly? 200 points of health, but 51 to the head. So it is a 4-shot kill with this weapon, and it is incredibly lethal in PvP. Now, I bid you guys farewell. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Take a nice look at my hunter. If you see me in a tower or wave or something, you know, I'm always friendly. Want to do some raids, you can hit me up, I guess. I'll see if I have time to do it, see if I have some space on my fire team. You may get featured in one of my next videos someday. Who knows? But I will catch you later, Guardians.